Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Week 10 vid on Grade A Fantasies, Grade A Picks on Prize Picks. Let's just cut right to the chase. Last week was garbage. Went 2 out of 2. The Dalton Kincaid smashed. The Rashad White one hit. The other two stunk. Let's move on. But I will say this, let's keep the trend going, because when it comes to me, if y'all been watching these videos, if there's one thing that I always get perfectly right, it's going against Tampa Bay or going with Tampa Bay. So here's what I like. Grade A props. 51.5 rushing yards against a tough rushing defense for Rashad White. The volume is amazing, but I think Tennessee's defense is going to just make them become a mirror image. They're going to make Tennessee a pass funnel, which they are. So what I like here is we might even make a same game parlay, but I have to give you guys the heads up. So this is a prop that stayed the same, 51.5 yards. I don't know why prospects keep doing that, but Rashad White is definitely somebody that I like for the under. 51.5 against a tough Tennessee defense. Yes, the volume is there. He actually has two props that I like, but the volume is there either way. But like I said, after 13 to 15 rushing attempts, which is what he normally gets, I think Rashad White is going to be highly used in the passing game, which he has been. 23.5. I take the over. So even though you can't parlay it twice with the same person in prospects because they play like DFS. So for me, it's either take your choice. You're either going to take Rashad White with the receiving volume like you have, like I've been telling y'all before, or when it goes against a tough running defense, which the offensive line does not run block well, I think this is a safe pick, but I think you need to get that before that number gets too high. Speaking of that, oh crap, not again. Here we go. Now, speaking of that, speaking of value, this prop right here, very interesting. This was an A. This is more like an A minus now, because Derrick Henry now has to go against the tough run defense of Tampa Bay in the same game. This is why I said we might be able to parlay this, act like a same game parlay, like we did with the Eagles game that day. Here's the thing that's trending about this. I don't know why PrizePicks is doing that, but anyway, let's just get into the rushing yards, and I'll just show it to you from a different perspective. So Henry's prop, when I started doing the research on this 2 days ago, do you know what this opened at? This opened at 74.5. I looked at this, and this was my favorite prop because I know this was way too high against Tampa Bay's run defense. So with that being said, Henry is now at 69.5. I still like the under, but it's just not my main pick as I loved it before. But it's still something worthy picking. So I like Henry, and let's just say I'll just put it up there just to have both there. But the Rashad White props, both of those are props that I definitely like. So once again, so far, it's still less on Henry. He dropped from 74.5 to 69.5. Rashad White, I like the under in the same game, 51.5. Under, I like him to go over 23.5. If you want to make it kind of like a same game parlay, obviously you have to pick one of the Rashad White props. What do I like them both. If you really made me choose, I guess with the way this, damn, I really do like both. Because if that Rashad White prop drops to like in the low 40s, that's when it gets dangerous to me. I think even at 49.5, I'll still take the under. But okay, for now we'll just leave that there, and I'll make a personal decision for you, because I have to make a decision. You can't have Rashad White twice. You can't have the same player, different props on the same card. The other one that I like I said, my favorite three, because like I said, I only got to pick one with Rashad White. This is way too low. They know this is way too low. Washington cannot stop the ball in the air. You've heard me say it in my FanDuel vids. If there's anything that they stink at, for the past 2 to 3 years, or ever since Chase Young has been drafted, the defensive backfield cannot stop the pass. And now it's even more worse when there's a particular part of the pass that they can't stop, and that's the downfield bomb. They have been murdered on that type of pass play, let alone deep slants and deep crosses. So Tyler Lockett, just to give you a heads up, that opened up at 47.5, 49.5. You trying to tell me Tyler Lockett's not even above 50? Once again, Tyler Lockett is somebody that can get this on one deep throw from Geno. So, with that being said, I'll probably do a follow-up vid Friday. But if you ask me, you should go Henry lower before it keeps dropping. Rachaad White lower on the rush. You know what? Let's just stay hot. Every time I pick someone Rachaad White, it works. So far that you guys know, whether if you tail my cards that hit, tail my cards that misses, or you just take pieces of my picks and then move on. Once again, I'd like to say thank you guys for the comments that I get or whatever. I really appreciate it. So if you made me choose, we're gonna continue. I've hit on both, but what's he more hot on? Boom, we'll take off the rushing. So we'll go Derrick Henry 69.5. We'll go Rachaad White 23.5, and we'll go 49. Well, properly saying Derrick Henry under 69.5, Rachaad White over 23.5 receiving yards again, Tyler Lockett 49.5 over. Other props that I really like that Tampa Bay game. I really do. So if you really want to make it like your own personal single game parlay, what is he at now? Did they move him? No. Okay, so this prop stayed. Mike Evans is still at 60.5. Out of the receiving core, he's the one with the more favorable repertoire with Baker Mayfield. So Baker Mayfield will be looking for him. I really think he's another one that can get this in maybe 1 or 2 receptions, because he does like to hit Mike Evans short every now and then. And then more than likely in that same game, here's another one that I like. It can be an interesting, fun single game parlay. And yes, his prop has stayed the same. So DeAndre Hopkins, 62.5, has not moved. Pass funnel, that is a very fun single game parlay that you can actually do. You could actually take out the Tyler Lockett and feel pretty comfortable that these will also hit as well. Mike Evans, the deep threat. Like I said, I picked Mike Evans because, like I said, his repertoire is stronger with Mayfield than it is with Godwin. And he seems to have developed something with Kate Otten, especially inside the 10-yard line. But we're not worried about Kate Otten right now. We're worried about receivers. And it's Mike Evans and DeAndre Hopkins if you want to do a single game version of a parlay on Prize Picks. But once again, my top 3 picks this week, or my grade A picks, it is Derrick Henry, less than 69.5, trending down. Dropped a bit from 74.5, so pay attention to that. Rachaad White, 23.5 receiving yards. That has stayed the same since Monday night or Tuesday. When it was Monday night when I started doing some research and these props started popping up. But my grade A, yes, and the other grade A is Lockett. But as you can see before, that was the single game parlay that I actually liked. So if you like these, you could trail these. Derrick Henry under, Rachaad White over receiving, and Lockett for over 49.5, up from 47.5. A fun version of a single game parlay would be Derrick Henry under the 69.5, Rachaad White, or you could just do both running backs under if you want, but Rachaad White 23.5 over, and then in that same game, Hopkins over 62.5 against that pass funnel of a Tampa Bay defense, and then pass funnel of the Tennessee defense 60.5. But also because he can get some decent, if he can hit him a couple of times and he can get some decent yardage after the catch, good. Chris Godwin, his prop, I didn't show it, but let's look for it, because that could have also changed too. Godwin was, as of late Monday, early Tuesday morning, was 56.5 when I did start this research. Okay, so he's still 56.5. So if you want to if you're interested in doing a single game parlay, those are my picks there. But these are my grade A picks for the week. So I like these picks right here. I will be doing a follow-up video Friday with more picks. There's a few of these props. Once again, as always, as I always tell everybody, after the Thursday night game locks and some of those guys disappear, after like their second half prop disappear, that's when the rest of the Sunday props will pop up. But right now, this is what I like. I wanted to get this one out a little earlier than usual because I got out last week's prize pick video late. So once again, the 3 grade A picks: 69.5 tough run defense, 23.5 over against a tough run defense, but he should be able to catch out the backfield. And once again, Rachaad White is the main back on Tampa Bay. Keyshawn Vaughn, he goes in there to give him a breather. Rachaad White gets right back in there. And Tyler Lockett, over 49.5 against the worst secondary in the NFL. This is grade A pick. This is grade A fantasy with grade A picks on prospects. Good luck in week 10. I will be back Friday with a part 2 of grade A picks on prospects. And then tomorrow will be the rundown preview of week 10 on the FanDuel slate. So stay tuned for that. This is grade A fantasy. Signing off.